What's up, guys? Welcome back. So, new Dark World Fusion was revealed, and I think this was a highly anticipated card, right? Colorless. I'm not so sure about the card. It's is it worth the extra deck space? Problem is that yes and no, simply because its effect is quite good. Like upon summon, you can pop like all cards from your opponent, so that's, you know, fantastic, obviously. And that's, I think, the biggest downside is that it's super hard to get on the field. You need, like, what is it, let's say 2 Fiend type monsters, right? So Dark World or whatever. Plus the OG Rainbow, you know, like the level 7 from like years ago. And that's iffy. Like, do you really want to main deck that one? Simply because that's not really a good Dark World monster to main deck, right? Like, if it's discarded by your opponent's card effects, you can, what is it, special summon itself and then either pop all monsters from your opponent or all spell and traps from your opponent. I believe it's something like that. But you need that name. The thing though is that there are ways around that. You know, you could play like King of the Swamp. You could go for, what is it, Versago, I believe the name is. It's a super old school card, but basically, or the Hex Sealed, the Dark Hex Sealed Fusion, or, you know, like the monster. But basically you're playing like, you know, ways to kind of bypass not playing the OG Rainbow Dark World. Then again, why should you? Well, the reason for, yes, you know, for playing that card is because it's searchable, right? With all the new Dark World support on you, it was, you know, like released, what was it, last year? It's searchable, so that's the thing. The thing is that most of the time, in most situations, in almost every situation, the first Dark World Fusion you're going for is your your Graphi, you know, your Negator, especially going first, right? For example, this one, we know him, and let's say, like, if you have the opportunity to get out or get back your fusion spell from the graveyard, you know, with its discard effect, you can just set it simply because, again, it's a quick play. So during your opponent's turn, you could, you know, quick play fusion during their turn for Colorless, and, you know, Colorless pops their board. But again, like, is it really needed? The thing is that Dark World is a going first deck. Like, the deck list is based, you know, on the more recent Dark World decks. I don't think there is anything new, bar, of course, the new fusion. But like going first, it's still the same strategy as in Ceruli, Silva. That's, I think, still more important. Potentially get out the Dark World Fusion as quickly as possible, and then, you know, Mudcracker, or Mudcracker, yeah, that's the name. You know, reborning stuff, you know, right after you use Yugioh for a draw. And like here, like okay, Ceruli and then the Thrust. I like Thrust, the 1 copy of Thrust, the 1 copy of Talent, simply because both of them will trigger if Ceruli is summoned to your opponent's side of the field, right? Because it counts as an opponent's monster's, you know, or monster activated its effect, or it has activated its effect. So Thrust could kindly, you know, search out like card destruction. So that's really cool. That's nifty. But, you know, what I was about to say is that this is definitely a going first deck. Problem is it's going second, and that's, you know, where shit hits the fan. A couple of replays of that in a couple of moments. Like, the video is much shorter compared to usual, but I feel that it doesn't really change the deck by a lot. And as you saw in the deck, is that I do, you know, like give 1 extra deck slot to Colorless, but I'm not so sure if I really want to, you know, keep it in the main deck for Dark Worlds. As you saw in like the side deck, there are more options. Like Cross Sheep is definitely a good option for link climbing and, you know, reborning Snow, which in this deck is kind of OP. Or, you know, like turn around to your current extra deck, but you know what I mean, there are more options. Zombie Stein, Titanic Galaxy, etc. So maybe Access Code Talker, is it needed? I mean, the space might be there, but it depends, right, on your strategy. So, second game again going first, and again, nothing too spectacular, right? You have the Dark World Fusion. Again, that's the thing with Dark World. If they go first, it's really hard to stop them. Even like Ash, maybe Ash Imperm on, you know, something like Saryuja, Ash followed by Imperm, something like that. But I mean, they have more tools to, you know, force out Ceruli, discard Silva, get rid of like 2 to 4 cards from your opponent, potentially talents them like here, getting free information about your opponent's hand, potentially sending back the 5th card, so leaving your opponent handless with, you know, Dark Worlds. But again, this is nothing new. The deck could do this before Colorless, so like for this it doesn't really change that much. Colorless also has like another effect, its second effect, that, what is it, you can discard the cards, so, you know, triggering your Dark Worlds, for example, to make 1 card on the field so that it cannot, at least that card cannot be targeted by card effects. I believe it's something like that, which is okay. I mean, it's good, because again, you know, discard and etc. That's definitely solid, but I think the biggest choke point of getting out Colorless is the materials needed. The OG Rainbow, and then, you know, I mean, 2 Fiends is not that hard, simply because, you know, you can banish those from the graveyard. But getting that OG Rainbow, forcing you to main deck it, it's iffy. And like these replays are like all honesty, like showcase how like for the current strategy it's not doing that much, simply because going first, it's not like okay, let's say you want to pump out this fusion as soon as possible because it has a search effect or a destiny draw effect or whatever. No, it's you know, pop your opponent's stuff. So like going second, it could be okay, but again, it needs a lot of materials. And that's a problem. And I have a couple of games here going second, and, you know, the current deck of the format is Kashtira, and, you know, this is not going to, you know, go well. It's an iffy one. I maybe should have gone for, but Fenrir is there as well. Do you know, I think it was basically pick your poison, and like the cross-out designator, which is still, you know, or maybe back again from YCS London, popular again in Kashtira. It hits talents, and that's a problem. No out for that board. You know, plus Arise Heart banishes all the cards. Maybe I should have treated Arise Heart with the Kaiju, but nah, it is what it is. Again, going second against Tier, again, not the best deck for the current format, but like going second, like these other games just showcase that even though Dark World got, you know, superb support, it's doing good at locals, regionals level, you know, with like a couple of tops here and there past weeks, March, you know, April 2023. But like going second, the deck struggles. You know, you need to do some nightmare pops, draws, some rank ups, and here in this case Rule Carols is there, and Dweller. And that's the thing, that is that Dark Worlds is good, the engine is good going first, but going second you need to battle it out against, like, you know, a couple of negations, maybe more negations other than hand traps, which are already there if you're going first, and then stuff like Droll. Everyone could main deck it in the current format. Dweller is an instant out for most of the effects. You know, it's a summoning condition right from the graveyard, but again, you know what I mean. So the new Colorless, it was a highly anticipated card, but it's kind of iffy. I'm not so sure about the card. So again, feel free to leave opinions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. I'm signing out. Peace.